Hello and good morning, everybody. My name is Rima. I'm going to be your presenter today for the webinar. Today's topic is creating dashboard techniques. I hope everybody can hear me okay. So we'll start. So as everybody knows, or maybe who's joining it for the first time, this video will be available on our YouTube channel, and everybody needs an audio for this webinar right now. We'll have a question and answer round at the end of the webinar, so if in case you have any questions, you can put it on the chat and then we'll be answering them. So why use dashboards? Dashboard is a good tool that gives you a quick overview of main information a user needs. It optimizes the interaction of the user with the application, so it's a good feature to have. You don't want your users to get lost or be overwhelmed with the information, so having a dashboard kind of keeps it very simple and easy for the users to use. It organizes and presents information in a way that's easy to read. As I said, it's a tool used to get an overview of the data, and it presents updated information. So it's a good tool for your users to start and communicate with the application. Here is the sample dashboard that we have created, which is using REST Web Service. And some of the features that we will cover in today's demo would be retrieve data using REST Web Service. It includes dynamic links to the form. It groups the results based on each status. As you can see in the previous slide, this is submitting an expense report and a dashboard which just gives you a summary of all that information. We have expand and collapse sections using the buttons, which is a pretty neat feature that makes your dashboard look very neat and clean. So we'll be showing you that. Also, another good thing about dashboard is that you want to limit the access to the application that you're giving to the user. So you want the admin user to have kind of the full control, while the users can only see information that's related to them. So we will be showing two different dashboards, admin dashboard and a user dashboard. So you can add features which the admin should have and the user should not see. So that's helpful. I think with that, I think this kind of explains the admin and the user dashboard scenario here. And I think I'm going to start with the demo. So here, this is the, we have the dashboard as a web part here on our SharePoint site. So if the user logs in, this is what they see. And here we have a link to create a new request. So we will be submitting a request as user RimaD. When I click on the new user link, it opens this expense report form for me. We'll be submitting a request. I am just entering some data here. I'll submit my information. My manager is Princeton. So there is an approve decline section. Just for the purpose of this webinar, I'm not hiding this, but otherwise I think only the manager should be able to see the approve and decline section. So I just left this so that we can submit couple requests as approve or decline. Don't have to go through that cycle of. You can enter your expense details here. Meals, say $20. And I'm going to submit this request. So once I submit the request, I go back to my screen is again to the user dashboard, and you can see this is the request that I submitted just now. And there are these expand and collapse button that you can, click to expand. This dashboard is retrieving data and displaying the information based on the status. So you can see approved, decline, new, submitted. If you click on the link here, it's going to open the form. So these are the dynamic links we have. If you close it, it takes you back to the dashboard. So this is an example of a user dashboard, and I'm going to show you now what the admin dashboard looks like. So here I am logged in as an admin. I'm going to refresh. All right, so admin dashboard is going to show you requests submitted by all the users, and we have a filter here if you want to filter based on any particular employee. So if I search by Bree, so I can see the request submitted by Bree here. So I just for the demo purpose I have one filter here, but you can have filter based on the manager or department. So with that, I'm going to now take you to the form. This is the expense report form that we use, and here during the submit action, we are setting the form name and form links in this. So we're generating the form links here, which takes you back to, when you close it, it takes you back to your dashboard site. So this is the part that covers that. Having the source URL as this. And now let's go to the dashboard. So this is the dashboard form. I'm going to close this designer checker. Okay, anyway, it doesn't matter. So here, what we are doing here is that we want to display the name of the user who's logged in as. So we have two calculated values here, which shows the user or the admin user based on who are you logged in as. And we have hide and show for this section, so only admin user can see this particular section. And we have created a link here for the new expense request. And here, this is the repeating section from the REST web service that we created. I'm going to show you the REST data connection that we have created here. So you can see that this is this is getting the information from the URL here and it's displaying based order by the form status. And we are using hide and show technique here to display information, as in the header. You do not want the header to be repeated, so we have hide and show rule here. We are using one of the fields here from the web service, the version field which is not being used, so we are using that to leverage the hide and show part. And we have a rule here calculating the, the form status, the number of requests for each status is being calculated here. That is this formula that we are using for generating the status, the count of status. Since you'll be getting a copy of this form, I think, yeah, it will be much more helpful when you look at it when you have it. So, and yeah, and this is where the data is, and here is the condition to hide and show this particular section. This is the formula for that. And that's the dashboard. Does anybody have any questions so far? All right, so I'm going to submit a request as approve, and then we'll see how it updates on the dashboard. I'm going to be generating this request, marking it as approve. I'm going to show you here right now. I have 3 requests that are under approve, and after this submission, let's see what happens. Okay. Let's say approve and submit. I'm not entering all the other details, but yeah, can do that. And then let's go back to this. You see this has updated here. It was, yeah, we have created using these buttons the effect of expand and collapse. I can show you that part here. So each of these button has rules, to expand, collapse. Again, we're using one of the fields here, version, to do that. So that's what I have for the demo today. Anybody has questions?
Yeah, and Rima, I guess the one part that I want the audience to kind of know too is the reason that we're using the REST web service is it tends to be a much quicker way to kind of query large amounts of data and kind of filter through. And then you can leverage values that we're not necessarily utilizing in the view to do different pieces of logic within the view that you're seeing. So yeah.
Yeah, REST does not use XML all the time, so that's one good thing. You can also just when you're creating a REST URL, you can test it in the browser and see if the information is displayed. It's very lightweight compared to SOAP. Very simple, easy to use.
Rima, can you maybe walk through the REST web service data connection just to give our users a little bit of insight as to kind of
Yeah,
how it's set up?
right, sure. So you would just, do you want me to create a new data connection and show, or just this one?
Yeah, why don't you create a new one? You can copy your URL so that it's basically
Yeah,
the same,
that's,
but yeah.
yeah, I'll do that. So to create a REST data connection, you go add and receive data. You do REST web service, and you have this URL. Just so this is the name of my library where my expense reports submit to, and then I'm doing the order by form status. Go next, and that's it. That's how you would just create a connection.
Do you want to, will you go back and just kind of explain the different parts of the URL?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Do you want me to paste it in a notepad and do it, or just here?
No, just you can edit that web service. We just had a question from the audience. So the first part is the URL to your SharePoint site. So you can see through webinars and the sub sites. So formsboard.com is our parent site, webinars, and then the webinar date is our child site. And then we're using the list data service there to basically call, and you can see that the example below is that we need to use that list web service to actually call the information and then tell the data connection which list or library we want. And we get more into REST URLs. There's a bunch of kind of documentation out there about different filters. In this case, Rima's using an order by, but you can also filter by, or you can get pretty
Yeah.
creative with how you create your REST URLs. And the good thing is that, Rima, if you take this REST URL and paste it in the browser, you can actually verify whether or
Yeah.
not you've created a URL that's going to work because it should return information.
And you can use, I think, sort also here, to sort the data. So this is what's returned in the browser. As you can see, it says 17 records fetched. Does anybody have question? Hi, Bree, can you hear me?
Yeah, I think we're good. There's just a few questions,
Yeah. Okay.
mostly about the user profile, which we're using a function to return just the username. And then in the case of the expense report, we're going and using that piece of information to query the user profile service. So that's what we're doing there.
Okay. Yeah, so I think we end the webinar then. Hope everybody have a good day and enjoy the rest of the week.